Wow. So obviously you never want the ride to end, and you certainly wouldn't want it to end quite like that, but at least they got to say goodbye on home ice. Avs lose to the Nashville Predators 5 to nothing in Game 6 of Round 1, and their season is over. So I am going to go over Game 6 a bit. There's not a ton exciting to talk about there. Once we finish that, we'll kind of wrap up the season as a whole. Right from the get-go, in this one, Nashville came out flying. This was a game where they finally looked like the team everyone expected them to in the playoffs, just dominating the Avs. After controlling play early, Nashville was the first team to put the puck in the back of the nets, but there was a very clear goalie interference on Bernier, so it ends up not counting, and the Avs seem to have caught a break. But hardly 2 minutes later, Nashville scores another goal, and this time it would count. McKinnon's going to lose a puck battle along the boards here, and the puck's just going to come right out to the circle to Nashville. From there, some quick puck movement gets it over to the far side, where there is a ton of room for Ekholm to wind up and take a shot, and at the same time, you have Austin Watson screening Hammond perfectly, so Hammond has no chance, and it winds up in the back of the net. That goal seemed to fire up the Predators even more than usual, and they came even harder for the next 5 or so minutes of the first, and they would add on a second goal. Nashville's going to throw this puck down the boards. McKinnon initially thinks Sissons is going to play this one, so he tries to cut him off, but it bounces over Sissons' stick into the corner, leaving a lane for Bonino to get to it. Once Bonino gets to it, McKinnon is basically back in position and comes extremely close to cutting this puck off, but he just misses it with his stick, and that gives Sissons a wide open lane across the net as Rantanen and Zadorov both get caught a little too high and not coming down low to help. So Sissons goes all the way across the net, beats Hammond clean. He actually misses the shot off the post, but once again, there's Austin Watson, because of course there's Austin Watson to clean up the rebound. And now you're 10 minutes into the first, and the Avs are down by 2. Not looking good, to say the least. The Avs try to hang in there for the rest of the first, but they don't really get too many great chances, and any good looks at the net that they do get, Pecorine is just saying no. The Avs kill off a penalty at the end of the first, and we go into the first intermission with the Avs down 2. Then, 38 seconds into the second period, well, you pretty much knew the season was over at that point. On an offensive rush, Blake Como recovers the puck deep in Nashville's zone, but he tries to send it up and out back to the point. That was a little dangerous, and it ends up making the Avs pay, as it's a 2-on-1 back the other way. Forsberg just takes it himself all the way in and beats Hammond. The shot itself does look like it hits Hammond pretty squarely in the chest, but it somehow leaks through. And that would just about do it for the Avs. You could tell they just didn't have anything left against a team this good. Nashville would add on 2 more goals that didn't really matter. The only thing worth talking about really for the Avs is they would manage to put one in the back of the net. Unfortunately, like Nashville's first time putting it in the net, it would come back for a goalie interference call. A little disappointing for the Avs that they couldn't score at least 1 goal for the Pepsi Center to cheer about, but they still got a great send-off at home from the fans. And that is it for the end of the Avs season and their playoff run. So, you know what that means. The beard is gone. But even though my beard is gone, this is still one of my proudest moments as an Avs fan after that season. For the first time, maybe ever in my life, there were no expectations at all for the Avs this year, and they not only blew that out of the water, they made the playoffs, and they had an incredible year, even though no one believed in them. From winning opening night to McKinnon catching fire 6 or 7 games into the season, the Duchesne trade, the Avs going on a 10-game win streak, and then fighting all the way down the stretch, keeping themselves in the playoff picture until finally beating the Blues in Game 82 to make it. This team has something special. It's not like the 13-14 miracle year where we just lucked our way into one of the best teams in the league in the regular season. No, this team had to battle. They had to earn it every step of the way. Obviously, there was still some luck along the way as well. All of the rookies put up career numbers because they're rookies, duh. But the Avs also had 7 other players who had career high production this year. Leading the way was Nathan MacKinnon, and while he may not be able to necessarily produce a 97-point season in the future, it's clear he took some massive steps towards becoming the proverbial superstar that he should be. At very least, he's in the top 2 for winning the Hart Trophy, and in my definitely biased opinion, how can you not give it to McKinnon? On his line, you had Rantanen and Landeskog. Rantanen avoided the sophomore slump in a big way, scoring over a point per game easily, and then Landeskog was just the absolute rock as the captain of this team. Without him, we don't make the playoffs. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Beyond that, you had the extremely solid veteran line of Como, Soderberg, and Nieto. I know I've talked about not being super happy with keeping them around all year, but let's face it, they did more than their job for this team, consistently putting up points and being that steady force as a depth option for the Avs. Then beyond that, you get into the rookies and role players. Obviously, the second half of the year wasn't what Kerfoot wanted, but he still managed to put up over 40 points as a rookie, and especially one that comes out of the NCAA, the rookie wall isn't that big of a surprise in the second half. So that might be one of the best signings that Joe Sakic has ever made in an offseason. If he continues the production that he showed this year into next year and further on, that's an absolute home run. JT Compher has also found a nice role for himself in the bottom six of this team. We were hoping for a bit more production out of him, but even though that never really showed up, he still had a ton of quality chances and has proved that he belongs in the NHL. Not only that, but in the playoffs, he quietly did pretty well for himself. And then you also have Tyson Jost, who really came on strong in the second half where all of the other rookies seemed to fade. He figured out what it took to play in the NHL, where his strengths were, and just how much he could do, especially offensively. This year was supposed to be all about development, and with those three, it definitely happened, and it was great to see. And then you had your role players, Gabe Bourque, Colin Wilson, Nail Yakupov. All of these guys had shining moments during the year too. It really was a full team effort, even if it didn't always feel like it. And then you have the back end, which unfortunately was very often riddled with injuries this year, but still, we saw a bunch of great things. Obviously, the Duchesne trade for Sam Girard has worked out fantastically for us. Sam Girard, at just age 19, has proven he can be a top 4 defenseman for the Avs, and while he still does make some mistakes, his upside is pretty incredible. Tyson Barrie with a career year in production, one of those 7 players. Yes, we know his defensive end is never going to be great, but when he's scoring like that, he is helping the Avs in so many ways. Nikita Zadorov, much like Sam Girard, took a lot of steps in the right direction. There were times this year where he was just an absolute monster, the Avs' best defensive defenseman at times, and the kid just crushes people. He still does make some mistakes, and we hope that he figures out the consistency and really turns it up to maybe even become a top 2 type guy in the future. But even if he doesn't, he's going to be a valuable piece for the Avs. Then you have EJ, who unfortunately was not healthy for a large part of this year, but when he was a beast, just munching minutes like crazy, often playing upwards of 30. He's really coming into his own as the veteran guy for the Avs on that defensive core, and it's a great thing to see, especially with him wearing the A back there. He can lead a lot of these young guys. And then, of course, you have all the other guys. Patrick Nemeth, a waiver claim, who really stepped up in some big moments for the Avs this year and stuck to his role of being a defensive defenseman and got the job done. Guys like Mark Barberio helping with the veteran influence, and then even the young guys, Lindholm, Siemens, even Mark Alt and David Warsofsky, all of them had solid games at one point or another for the Avalanche. And then you have the situation in goal. Varlamov's numbers are fantastic this year. If he could stay healthy, he would absolutely be the Avs starter without a doubt. Unfortunately, he did not at all prove that he could stay healthy this year. Enter Jonathan Bernier. He was the goalie that was backstopping the Avs during that 10-game win streak. Without him, again, the Avs don't make the playoffs. And while his numbers aren't super shiny or anything like that, he was good enough to backstop the Avs during long stretches of this season. Some much needed reliability on a team full of rookies and question marks. Even Andrew Hammond in Game 5 puts up an amazing performance. The Avs just got help from everywhere. It seemed like the whole team really bought in and was working together. You don't go from a 48-point season to a 95-point season without that. And the best part is, the future is even brighter than this. Sure, maybe everyone won't have career years next season, or maybe we won't quite get to 95 points. I hope we do, and if we do make the playoffs, that would be fantastic. But the point is that the Avs are moving in the right direction now, and they understand what it takes to win in the league. That youth continuing to develop, and adding more youth onto that is going to push the Avs up, and away. I'm going to go ahead and end this video there, but first I do have a bunch of thank yous to send out. First off, thank you to our Colorado Avalanche, the Avs subreddit. Without them, I wouldn't even exist at all on the internet as an Avs fan. I would just be some guy. But then, of course, thank you to Rebin, who is the guy who makes all of the graphics and stuff on this channel. He makes my channel way, way better than it would be just me sitting here talking at you guys. Third, thank you to everyone at burgundyrainbow.com. I've had a blast working on the blog there, posting my videos, and getting to write about anything else Avs and even Colorado Eagles related there. I've met a bunch of awesome people, and I'm really excited to continue working with them through the off season and into future seasons. We have a ton of awesome content to bring you guys, and on that note, what do you guys want to see, especially in this off season? We have a bunch of stuff planned, such as reviews for all the Avalanche players, in-depth look at draftees that the Avs might be taking, and even more than that. But I know you guys have a bunch of great ideas, and I would love to do some. The last people I have to thank is you guys currently watching this video. At the start of last off-season, I had less than 200 subscribers on YouTube, and I didn't even have a real Twitter account. As of today, I'm just a handful of subscribers on YouTube short of 500, and I have over 750 Twitter followers, which is kind of ridiculous to me. When I started doing these things, I didn't really expect anything. The fact that even anyone subscribed to me blew me away. So thank you. Even if this is the first video of mine you've ever watched, or if you watch every single one, I appreciate it way more than you guys can imagine, and you guys have done a ton for me as well. I'm glad that at least some of you enjoy the content, and I can't wait to make more for you guys. So that is the end of this game and season video review. Thank you for watching. In the immediate, I am still covering the Colorado Eagles ECHL playoff run. They just won their first round series, so we get to follow that, and I actually get to really report on that. I get player interviews and things like that to bring you guys, so I'm pretty excited about that. And once again, seriously, if you guys have something you guys want to see me do, let me know in the comments or something, and I'll try my best to get it done. I'm Rudo3. Oh, Rex, you can't... I'm Rudo. No, don't look at me when I talk, Rex. I'm Rudo3, and this channel needs more of my dog.